white athletes, young white athletes, and we keep finding their old tweets. And I used to be a young black athlete, and I know all the dumb stuff I said when I was 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. Thank God we didn't have Twitter and social media. But I think this has to be orchestrated because it keeps happening at Josh Allen on draft night, Josh Hader at the All-Star game. It just keeps happening at these inopportune, calculated times. This is orchestrated to keep this story in the news. Because I say that because I'm like, I used to be a young black athlete. I said just as much dumb stuff as my white teammates. And coming from the black community and a black family, I know how homophobic I was as a young person.
Yeah.
You can't tell me there's no young black athlete that isn't spewing homophobic things over social media that people could drag out and say, oh, look at this person, and make them apologize. It just keeps happening to the same white athletes over and over again. This is orchestrated. It needs to stop. People, kids, say dumb things, really dumb things of all colors and all stripes. Michael Kopech is no dumber at 17, 18 years old than I was.
Here's my solution to this. One, delete every tweet that you sent when you were a kid if you become a professional athlete. The day you get drafted at 18, 19, 20 years old or sign that scholarship, delete everything that you sent before then. Here's my second big thing. I'm curious what you guys think about this. When you get arrested for a small crime when you're a juvenile, you steal a bag of potato chips at a gas station. By the time you're 18, what do? We wipe away that arrest, and what's the rationale that we make for that decision? We say, kids make dumb decisions. We don't want that to follow them into adulthood. Well, if we're willing to wipe away actual crimes when people get to be 18, why in the media and why in the world at large do we judge a kid who sends a tweet when he's 16 or 17? We are giving more lenient treatment to actual arrests for under 18-year-olds in terms of the way the media responds to it and the way that we treat the juvenile system than we do tweets. Does it make sense to punish words over actions for juveniles?
These are some great points, Clay. I want to quickly get back to Whitlock's original take, which kind of blew my mind when I saw this. But then I thought about it. I'm like, orchestrated is a bit strong. That means that there's somebody pulling the strings somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know that it's that strong, but there's certainly a trend here. Now, has happened to black athletes. Tyreek Hill of the Kansas City Chiefs sent some really offensive stuff. Another player, Geronimo Allison of the Packers, they lit him up. But speaking as a guy who runs a website, I will say this. These posts do monster traffic.
People love to read about it.
And it's wrong, and here's why. It's like the car accident syndrome. Like, wait, what did this guy tweet when he was 16? I've got to click on that and read the story. And there's no story, right? It's just a bunch of tweets.
Yep.
And, and then you get the situation where the mainstream media, the Washington Post, the New York Times, oh, those guys are getting a lot of traffic off these. We're in the same business. We've got to get traffic. And now you've got everybody writing about tweets, acting like it's a big deal when it's not. It's meaningless. And I personally hate it, but you're in a business where your profit, you need to make money. That's what we're in this business for, right? TV shows, radio, websites, we all need to make money. And you're now talking about tweets from guys who are 17, which is totally messed up.
It happens with every race. What's going on in our society now is African Americans aren't getting equal rights. We're vilified and police brutality. So anytime a white athlete does anything that's degrading to a black person, it's going to cause attention. It's going to, as you say, get clicks. It's happened with Larry Nance when he got drafted to the Lakers. He bashed Kobe when he was in college. That came out. Larry Tunsil, when he was coming out through the draft. The marijuana thing, that came out. So it's happening to not just the white athlete, it's the black athlete as well. It's just the rhetoric is different, and it's going to gain more attention because it's a racial thing. And it's what you said. When you're a teenager, you do and say things that when you look back on and you say, what was I thinking? Why would I do that?
I think context also matters here. There's a difference between Dante DiVincenzo sharing a Meek Mill lyric, as in, like, I love this lyric, I'm aspiring to be as good as Derrick Rose at dribbling a basketball, and a guy like Riley Cooper insulting somebody with a racial slur. We use context clues in most of life. It seems like social media makes us so stupid that we don't look at the context oftentimes.
I gotta say, rarely does this happen, and I'm sorry for being this arrogant. All three of you made better points than I did. Y'all really took my understanding of this to a much higher level. I stand by some of what I said in terms of this feels orchestrated. And again, I believe I'm a conspiratorial type person to some degree. I just think like people are actively trying to embarrass sports.
Oh, that's happening.
And
that is definitely happening.
Because it's going to make news.
No, I get it's trying to make news, but it's just like we're trying to smear the reputations of athletes regardless of. And so here's what Laramie Tunstall was on a bong deal. And I mean, that was stupid on his part, but he's a damn kid. I know the experience.
Gas mask.
All the things you all referenced, it's just like athletes and just being exploited and used and embarrassed and shamed by the mainstream media. And Jason, you make the great point in terms of how the blogosphere is now leading the rest of the mainstream media, where the reverse used to be the case. The mainstream media used to lead the blogosphere.
Let's also think about how this becomes a story, which I think goes to your initial point. Someone sees that an athlete has had a big game, and their first thought is not, man, I really enjoyed that good game. Dante DiVincenzo scored a lot of points. It's to go on Twitter and say, I'm going to look up these words and see if they've ever used them in the history of their Twitter account. Like, what kind of person is responds to that?
You want to knock them down a peg. Yeah. This attitude that, like, I'm a nobody on social media. I've got 10 followers, but guess what? I can take this guy down at the career, at his apex, in the national championship game. And on some level, that's super wrong and messed up. And then here it is, we're talking about it on TV.
I would say that my new position or where I've come through from this conversation is like athletes and all the money that they make, particularly from when I was a young person. I can remember when Magic Johnson was making $1 million a year, and we thought that was a big deal. Now guys make 30, 40, $50 million a year. There's just so much more jealousy towards athletes. And trying to just take athletes off the pedestal. It just seems to be rampant.
Inequality in this country, which is, trickling down to sports now. And you're seeing these, and we talked about it earlier, NFL owners. You got 30 of the 32 owners are white guys, okay? They're almost billionaires. They're ridiculously wealthy. NFL players can't get guaranteed contracts. There's jealousy.
That's a different argument. All right, coming up, if you love the Ravens drafting Lamar Jackson in the first round, I'll tell you why we just got proof even they think it was a bad idea